Welcome to the CBC Podcast, the podcast that will help you scale your health or fitness business. My name is Cameron Becht, and let's get right into it. So, I think there was a month when I was working at a clinic where I maybe sold 20 or 30 memberships. And these memberships range from about, 169 to 300. So, when you do the net of each membership being a 3-month commitment, I made that business a lot of money. So, these are the things that I did in order to make that business money. And you guys can do it too. The conversion rate of, I think a 30 to 40% conversion rate of people who come in the door and buy memberships, that's pretty fire. If you can keep that, your business is going to grow a lot. But what I see a lot of reps do is that they don't treat the sales process right. They don't, and a lot of them might know it's not a sales job. They not be salespeople. They might not have that little tick. So we're going to go into the things that you can actually teach them. Like these are what your techs, your reps, whatever you want to call them, in your front desk area, the people who are going to be selling the memberships. Or maybe even just you. Maybe there's some tricks you might not know yet. These are what they should do in order to grow. So let's walk through the process of someone coming in the door. So someone comes in and let's say it's a cryotherapy clinic. You want to greet them and be like, oh my gosh, hey, look at the schedule and find their name. And then also before they come into, I would see if they've ever been in before, see if there's any notes on their account. This isn't a video about the CRM and all the stuff there. This is just gonna be about the rep at the front door, what they can do to make a difference for that sale. So do whatever research you can to that person. Do you maybe know them? Do you maybe have a friend with the same last name as them? And you can try to kind of relate to them some of that. So try to give some information you can beforehand. The second they come in, greet them, say their name. People love when you say their name. There's just something about saying someone's name that really gets them going. And have a good tonality. So, if his name's Jim, he comes in, you're like, hey, Jim, how you doing? He's like, good, man, how are you? And I'm like, oh, great. Like, I think you're doing some cryotherapy today. Try to have some fun with it. Try to have some different tonality there. And he'd be like, yeah, I think I saw an ad online to claim the offer and I wanted to come in. I was like, that's great to hear, man. I'm so excited for you. Actually, what are you hoping that this helps out with today? So this is where the sale starts. The sale's already started. Before he's done the treatment, he's walking the door and you're already selling him within 30 seconds. But it's not selling like most people think of. It's not being like, hey, this is our pricing. Do you want to buy? Don't ever say that. Please, God, don't ever say that. So you want to try to figure out what his pain points are. So that could be, he's like, oh, I got some nagging pain, or, I'm looking to recover from the gym. And the thing is, the more information you get, the more you can upsell later on. So if I know someone's coming in for something and I have an idea of how we can help them, I can now upsell them and be like, oh my gosh, these are the services you can do in order to feel better, to perform to your best, because these are your goals, right? And you want to tie everything always back to the goals. Like, these are your goals. This is what you want. This is your outcome you're hoping for. You tie this to their goals, so they associate the two together. The cryotherapy is less sore, or the L-carnitine shots is more fat oxidation, a better blood pressure reading. And that's honestly half the services here. Like, if someone's struggling with something, you could tie a lot of things back to it. Do your research. Don't say cryotherapy is going to get you skinny. It's not. Don't lie. Lying's bad. Because if you lie, you're not going to be able to sell in the future because they're going to think you're full of shit. You want to keep a very, very sharp tongue of what you say, and that's right. And have research to back it. Have clinical trials, or have someone else you can at least point to and being like, Andrew Huberman, or some kind of name in the industry that they could look to. Be like, oh, this person's either a neuroscientist or something like that. So you have all these resources at your disposal. And this just comes to you have to know your services, and you have to know. And if you kind of work out somewhere with bullshit, you gotta make sure you don't say things that are bullshit. Like, if it's a service that's not really going to get you in good shape, because it's not a good shape service. Like, if it's like yoga, like if it's a slower yoga class, you can't pitch them and be like, oh yeah, this is going to get you jacked. Like, you see those people in the men's cover magazine or whatever, you're going to look like them. No, that's not going to happen. Yoga doesn't do that. Going to the gym does that. Diet does that. All these other things. And those are things that I like to do in a sales tactic. So if I'm talking to somebody, I'll even recommend them to other businesses that could help them. So let's say it's a man coming in and he's tired all the time and he's sore and he's looking to do all things. And, I might, probe a little bit, pry a little bit and be like, what have you tried so far? Like, what's been going on? And you could tie back to your personal experiences. I like doing that a lot. So I'll say that Cryotherapy's helped me a lot with my training. I actually compete in strongman, and that really beats up my body. And cryotherapy is the one thing that I do that helps me not die every day. So make it a little bit funny, a little bit light. And this is all stuff that you're doing, having a conversation. This can be before the treatment. So once you build up a little bit of rapport, share a little about yourself. Maybe you want to introduce yourself to, like, hey, my name's Cameron. Once you introduce yourself, figure out why they're there, and tie a solution to that problem, then you can take them back to the service. So if that's a sauna, whatever the hell you have, a cold plunge, whatever it is, then you have them in there. And then you have even more time to talk to them. You have so much time to sell somebody. Maybe they're there for 30 minutes and they're in the service. You're selling them for 25 minutes, and it's just 5 minutes in doing the actual service. You want to make sure the service is good, and you want to have it be an enjoyable process, and you want to have a good tonality while you're doing it. You don't want to sound boring. So they do the service, and they come out. You ask them how it was. You could say, looked like you survived. And they're like, yeah. And they'll say something like, oh my gosh, it was so cold, whatever. Then they'll go up front, and you want to say, hey, I'll meet you up front. And then if you can be the person to do the sale too, because they've built the rapport with you, that's better. Instead of passing it off to someone else who doesn't have that knowledge, because it's hard to be like that unless you can educate someone and be like, hey, this is Jim. He is experiencing fatigue, and he's sore, and he works out a lot, and he's trying to be less sore and put on more muscle. Like, these are his goals. And that person you can trust to sell, great. If they're not there yet, then you want to do the sale. You want to finish it. So now we come into the memberships, because 99% of businesses are membership based. You want to walk them through and be like, first ask them, like, so how was it? And they'll be like, oh, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. So that's good. I mean, you have a positive interaction. So that's already pretty close to a sale. Now you can go into your next question, be like, so how many times a week do you think you can get over here? And they'd be like, they'll give you a number, and then say, oh, this also gets asked a lot too. They'll ask you, so how often do you do this? I say every other day. Just because that's what I do. It actually works for me. But you want to get results that are correct / personable. So, if you do it every day and you're a runner, and that's just part of your day to day, good, pitch that. If you do it once a week, I probably wouldn't pitch that, because you want to do a little more than that. You want to do at least 3 times a week. So that's where I'd be like, okay, know how to tie and not stretch the truth and lie, but say the information that's useful to the client. So then you can continue that, and you have a conversation. You're talking. You already know his goals, and then you can tie a good plan for him. Be like, I think I got the thing just for you. We actually have this thing. You can come here every other week, or you can come 3 times a week, 2 times a week, whatever. You can just say it like that. Make it very digestible for the customer. Don't throw a lot of stuff at them, because they're going to be confused. Especially most class-based systems are really confusing, or memberships, because they have like their packages, their memberships. They have things that convert to other things, and the rollovers, the expirations, the commitments. It's too much to consider. Just give them the information they want to know. If they ask, answer, but give them what they need. So you can be like, they're like, oh yeah, I think I can come over here 3 times a week. And you're like, great. Actually, we have this deal, because normally you'll have some kind of deal or promo out of business like this. And this can give you this for actually a way cheaper price. Walk them through what it is, what the deal is, whatever. And if it's, you don't have a promo deal or whatever, be like, hey, this is the solution. Like, you can come here for 4 times a month for this price. Does that sound fair? And that is a great ending statement of like, does that sound fair for whatever it is? And they'll look at it for a second, and they'll ask you like, so is there a half, like a commitment? Some people think it's like a year commitment, because most people know there's a commitment with a membership. Don't stress it. Do not sell a membership and think, oh, I need to really stress that it's a 3-month minimum. You should kind of glide over it, because they're going to sign paperwork anyways. Hopefully you have paperwork for your memberships. And they'll be like, you could say, yeah, you know what? It's just a 3-month minimum. But then after that, it's only month to month. So what I said there, it was quick. It's just. So when I say it's just, that's not making it sound like, it is a 3-month minimum versus it's just a 3-month minimum. And then it's month to month after that. That sounds way different than someone saying, it's a 3-month minimum. After that, it's a 30-day cancellation notice. So blah, blah, blah. And like the tonality is just different. It's not as exciting either. When someone buys something, you want to make it sound exciting for them, that they're starting something cool, because it is. I mean, it's hopefully if you work somewhere, you enjoy the services too, and you like believe in them, so you can be excited for them. Be like, I'm so excited for you to start this journey and make this a part of your life. Try to tie some more personal experiences. I know when I started this, it really helped me do X, Y, and Z. Um, and these are going to help you sell. And it is crazy how many people, and this sounds super simple. You're like, wait, you're just telling me to be a decent person, ask questions, do some other things. A lot of people just don't do that. They don't have the right tonality. They feel like they're pushing the sale on them. And if you go into the sale not caring if they buy or not, but sincerely wanting the best for the customer and being like, this is the best outcome, like you have to do this in order to have the best outcome, that's how you'll be able to scale a little bit. Like not 9 times out of 10, I think about 50% of the time, if I mention something about selling a membership to somebody like that, they buy. Especially they already came in. They made the choice to drive 30 minutes to go somewhere. They probably want to spend money. Like they're looking for something to change, especially if they have pain points and they're tired of experiencing those pain points. And they're like, I just want a solution. You're providing them a solution. So if you provide the solution to their pain, the likelihood that they're going to convert is pretty high. But you have to ask the right questions. You have to say it right. Keep the right tonality. Sound like you know what you're talking about. Don't sound like an idiot. And if you can do everything right, then your conversion is pretty high. Now, let's think about how to handle a few objections. I don't ever hear these often. I mean, I rarely hear objections, honestly. But if someone comes with price, if you can be the type of person that can work out a deal, if your business you work for lets you do that, there's like, I just don't know if I can do $169 a month. I would say you can either rebuttal two ways. You can say, well, is $169 a month worth your health? Like, would you pay that much to stay healthy? You can tie it to that. Or you can say, is the price the only issue you're seeing? Or you can say, if it was cheaper, is this something you'd still see yourself doing? Like, yeah. If you have the power, discount a little bit, give them 20% off and be like, you know what? I'll do this for you, but you have to please write us an outstanding Google review. So don't just give them a discount out of nowhere. Try to ask for something in return for the discount so it works out a little bit. And this is where negotiation bartering kind of comes in. Just figure out what you have the power to do as a sales rep. Because the thing is, your business probably has a big, profit margin on whatever service you're doing. So do a discount. If you get if the 20% cost you the sale, what the hell? You'll make back the money. Finish the sale. If they have a positive experience, they're going to probably recommend people. And that is a whole other thing. Like, ask like someone that's like, oh, if this really helped you out today, would you mind bringing a friend to us? Or would you mind showing a friend that? Ask that. That's going to help out with sales as well. But I think those are the main things. Like if your front desk reps or techs just start doing that, I could imagine that things are going to start going up. You're going to start selling more. Customers probably just going to like them more because they're actually asking questions about their life. They're interested. They're giving them solutions to their problems. That's a big thing. If you be a problem solver, people are going to like you. And they know you. Like, they can maybe work out a deal with me on stuff. And they're willing to work with me. They're not just set in their ways of like, this is my price. This is what it is. And it's good to justify your price. You could also say like, someone's like, I know someone who can do it cheaper. Then you can say, if you and your wife are going out to an anniversary, do you want to go to a cheap restaurant or an expensive restaurant? And then they can go, it's like, well, it's different. And you can say, well, we like to, we like to show ourselves as a quality service, as a luxury service to people. But you can just tie it there. Like, speak about your services in a very high manner. What you do is very professional, top of the class, whatever. And then if discounts are needed, they're a tool to be used. And it's a negotiation tool. A discount isn't something off the front. It is something to be used in order to finalize the sale, to close a sale. So hopefully you guys can take some of these tactics and these methodologies and sell more memberships at your cryotherapy, fitness studio, whatever membership business you have.